Now let us discuss alkali metal. में इसको देखते हैं हम। दिखाई दे रहा है क्लियर जो मैंने लिखा है? इज इट क्लियर? इज इट क्लियर?
यस सर।
नो सर, दिख नहीं रहा।
दिख नहीं रहा है?
नहीं सर।
आप लोग देखिए साफ दिख रहा है। तो आपके इंटरनेट की कनेक्टिविटी हो सकती है कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो, लेकिन यहाँ मैंने दो स्क्रीन चला रखी, दोनों पे बिल्कुल क्लियर है।
सर क्लियर है।
क्लियर है ना? अब हम शुरू करते हैं। alkali atoms. Spectrum. Now, we know after hydrogen, the simplest atoms to study with regard to their spectra are the alkali atoms. And the example of alkali atoms are sodium, lithium, potassium, etc. There is only one valence electron in sodium. Similarly, 281, because 11 is the atomic number of sodium. So only one electron is there in the valence orbit, बैलेंस शेल। लिथियम में भी हमारा बैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन कितना होगा? 1 होगा, 3Li 2 1। सिमिलरली पोटेशियम में भी, और हाइड्रोजन में भी 1 होता है। तो आफ्टर हाइड्रोजन द सिंपलेस्ट एटम्स टू स्टडी आर द एल्कली एटम्स। क्लियर? नाउ द एक्सपेरिमेंटल स्टडी ऑफ देयर स्पेक्ट्रा वाज टेकन बाय लिविंग, डिवार, रिडबर्ग एंड वर्गमैन। These investigators observed that the spectral line in the emission spectrum of an alkali atom formed 4 series, and these 4 series are: 1 principal series, is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear?
यस सर।
तो फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल सीरीज of bright and most persistent lines. Second, sharp series. Sharp series of 5 lines. Third, diffuse series of comparatively broader line. And for fundamental or Bergman, the another name of fundamental series is Bergman series, BERGMANN, Bergman series in the infrared region. In the infrared region. Clear? So there are 4 series. Principal series, हम यहाँ पर P, इसका जो फर्स्ट लेटर है, we will use फर्स्ट लेटर P, अभी पता चलेगा आपको। शार्प सीरीज हम यहाँ पर S यूज करेंगे। फॉर डिफ्यूज D, फंडामेंटल F. दिस फंडामेंटल सीरीज is also known as Bergman series. So taking the clue from the Balmer's formula for hydrogen, we know Balmer formula for hydrogen nu equal to nu infinite minus r upon n square. This is the well-known Warmer's formula for hydrogen. R is the Rydberg constant. Rydberg pointed out that the alkali series could be represented by similar formulae such as, for principle, it can be written as MP, P for principle, equal to nu infinite P for principle minus R upon M plus P square. यहाँ पर हमने n की जगह m plus p स्क्वायर लिया है. m is 2, 3, 4 and so on. ये हमने पढ़े हैं पहले. लाइमन, बामर, पासान ब्रैकेट सीरीज, वहां पर हम ये लेके चले फॉर्मूला डायरेक्ट. बामर फॉर्मूला. Similarly, for sharp series, it can be written as mu ms equal to mu nu infinite s minus r upon m plus s square, and m equal to, here you must consider 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Diffuse nu m d for diffuse, nu d minus r upon m plus d square. M runs from 3, 4, 5 and so on. And last one is fundamental. Nu m f for fundamental equal to nu infinite f minus r upon m plus f square. Here m equal to 4, 5, 6 and so on. तो हमने चारों सीरीज के लिए ये एक्सप्रेशन लिखे हैं, और हमने कहां से लिए? बामर सीरीज. Here, these nu's are the wave numbers of the convergence limits of the corresponding series and are called fixed terms. In the so-called running terms, P, S, D, F, they represent Rydberg corrections for corresponding series. These are the Rydberg corrections, P, S, D and F. ये जो हमने यहाँ पे लिखी है, these are Rydberg correction corresponding for corresponding series. Now Rydberg noticed the following relationship or relations among different series of the same atom. First, the sharp and diffuse series have the common convergence limit. The sharp and diffuse series have a common convergence limit. Means nu infinite s equal to nu infinite d. Now second, the common convergence limit is equal to the first running term with m equal to 2 of the principal series. Of the principal series, that is nu infinite S equal to nu infinite D, or equal to R upon 2 plus P square. Third, the convergence limit of the principal series the convergence limit of the principal series is equal to a running term with m equal to 1 of the sharp series. That is nu infinite p equal to r upon 1 plus s square. Fourth, the convergence limit of the convergence limit of the fundamental series is equal to the first running term with m equal to 3 of the diffuse series. So these are the four relations that Rydberg noticed. Now, in view of these observations, the above formulae may be written in the following form. Number one, principle. Nu m p equal to r upon 1 plus s square minus r upon m plus p square, where m equal to 2, 3, 4, and so on. Sharp nu mu s equal to r upon 2 plus p square minus r upon m plus s square. Here m equal to 2, 3, 4, and so on. Diffuse nu m d equal to r upon 2 plus p whole square r upon m plus d square. M equal to 3, 4, 5, and so on. And fundamental nu m f equal to r upon 3 plus d square minus r upon m plus f square, where m equal to 4, 5, 6, and so on. So these are the formulae in view of these observations. Now, Rydberg's sister law. The following laws were found to hold in the alkali series. There are some laws that hold in alkali series. Rydberg sister law. This is one of the laws that is found to be hold in alkali series. According to this law, the wave number difference between the principal series limit and the sharp or diffuse series limit is equal to the wave number of the first line of the principal series. Means the wave number difference between the principal series limit and the sharp or diffuse series limit is equal to the wave number of the first line of the principal series. That is nu infinite P minus nu infinite S or D. This is equal to R upon 1 plus S square minus R upon 2 plus E square. And if you calculate this, so this is equal to obviously nu to P. Clear? Now there is another law that also hold in alkali series, Rangage laws. The wave number difference between the diffuse series limit and the fundamental series limit is equal to the wave number of the first line of the diffuse series. That is the wave number difference between diffuse series limit and fundamental series limit. This is diffuse series limit minus fundamental series limit. इनकी वैल्यू डाल देते हैं हम यहाँ, इसकी और इसके यहाँ पर. Put these two values, you will get R upon 2 plus P square minus R upon 3 plus D square. And this is equal to nu 3D. Means this difference is equal to the first series of the diffuse series. ठीक है, सीरीज में इधर हम बात करें तभी. दिस इज द डिफ्यूज सीरीज. इसके नीचे मैंने लिखा था डिफ्यूज सीरीज का. देखिए यहाँ पर दिस इज द डिफ्यूज सीरीज. तो हमने इसके लिए क्या किया, जस्ट पुट m इक्वल टू 3. तो ये आपको फर्स्ट आ जाएगा, फर्स्ट सीरीज पुट कीजिए यहाँ पे, तो ये आपके आ जाएगा न्यू 3D. दिस इज द फर्स्ट सीरीज. Similarly for m equal to 4, second हम यहां पर आए. This is Ranjale. An alkali atom, atomic number Z, consists of an inert gas core composed of the nucleus and a few complicated subcells have Z-1 electrons plus a single valence electrons in the outermost subcell. For example, if you consider the ground state configurations of lithium or sodium or potassium, this is 11 Na, 19 K. Now what will happen? इसको कंसिडर कीजिए 3Li, 1s2, s में हमारे 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन आ गए. अब एक बचा 2s, 2s1. सिमिलरली हम बात करते हैं, ये 2s जो रखा हुआ यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं लिखा है, it means 1, तो दिस इज बैलेंस है. सिमिलरली 11, 281, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, तो ये कंप्लीट फील्ड हुए. एंड 3s1, 2 plus 6, 281, कंप्लीट होगा. 6 4 10 और ये 1, दिस इज a 1 valence electron, 3s1. Similarly 19, 2 8 1, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. These are the complete subcells. 4s1. These are respectively. It is seen that except for lithium, this is for lithium, this is for sodium, this is for potassium. Except for lithium, the completed highest subcells is a p subcells. p subcell जो completely high cell है, और यहां पर केवल s है. ठीक है. And the next S subcell is the outermost one. outermost one में जो S है वो सभी में कॉमन है. In the orbital, in the optical excitation process, only the valence electron is excited, which alone therefore is responsible for the optical spectra. The inert gas core having a spherically symmetrical distribution of charge does not play any part. Clear? So this is some about alkali spectra. इसके मैं नोट्स गूगल क्लासरूम में डाल दूंगा. You can see in the Google Classroom. Now let us discuss. Next heading is let us consider Zeeman effect. Now what about Zeeman effect? तो Zeeman में क्या होता है? बेसिकली splitting of energy levels with the application of magnetic field. This is the simple definition of Zeeman effect. तो इसको देखते हैं हम. What is Zeeman effect? What is the importance of Zeeman effect? How it is used for various purposes? Zeeman effect. First, we will see only normal Zeeman effect. And Zeeman effect is a magneto-optical phenomena. Magneto-optical means means magnetic field. Optical means optical light, जो light होती है radiation. Zeeman effect is a magneto-optical phenomena. Magneto-optical phenomena discovered by Zeeman in 1896. He observed that if a source of light producing line spectrum is placed in a magnetic field, the spectral lines are split up into components. When the splitting occurs into two or more lines, it is known as normal Zeeman effect. What happens in normal Zeeman effect? In normal Zeeman effect, there is a splitting of energy levels, and splitting occurs into two or three lines with the application of normal magnetic field. So this is known as normal Zeeman effect, and can be explained quantitatively by the classical theory. The splitting of a spectral line into more than three components in ordinary weak magnetic fields is known as anomalous Zeeman effect. Anomalous Zeeman effect. तो दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या हुआ? In normal Zeeman effect, splitting of energy levels into two or three lines. In anomalous Zeeman effect, there is weak magnetic field and splitting occurs into more than three components. So now here we will discuss normal Zeeman effect. Now let us discuss the experimental setup of normal Zeeman effect. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My writing is visible. Writing
Yes,
is visible. Okay. Now experimental arrangement for normal Zeeman effect. तो देखते हैं. There are two poles. First, I am drawing the diagram. Then we will discuss. P So these are magnetic poles. This is the lamp. This is the telescope. तो ये एक इसकी पोजीशन ली हमने और यहाँ पे अभी पूरा कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. This is M. This is the second position of the telescope. Transverse position. S. This is the original line. And here we will see This is the direction of rotation. This is longitudinal B. Longitudinal view. Perpendicular, parallel, perpendicular. D lambda, change in wavelength, d lambda is the transverse view. Now let us discuss. This is experimental arrangement for observing normal Zeeman effect. Now in this arrangement, this MM is an electromagnetic capable of producing a very high strong magnetic field. Clear? These are electromagnets. M and M are electromagnets, and these electromagnets can produce very strong magnetic field. In normal Zeeman effect, we use strong magnetic field. It's a conical pole pieces. P. These are conical pole pieces. PP have longitudinal hole drilled through them. This is the hole, longitudinal hole. उसके पैरेलल, इसकी जो लेंथ है उसके पैरेलल, this is the hole. A source of light, L is a source of light, emitting line spectrum is placed between the poles. The spectral lines are observed with the help of this spectrograph S. This is the spectrograph S of high resolving power. The Zeeman effect may be observed in two ways. First way, the position of the spectral line is noted without applying any magnetic field. When there is no magnetic field, we observe the spectral line. And the magnetic field is now switched on. This is the origin line without applying the magnetic field. Now the magnetic field is now switched on, and the spectral line is viewed longitudinally through the hole drilled in the pole pieces, and hence parallel to the direction of the magnetic field. This is the direction of the magnetic field. So we see along the direction of the magnetic field. This is the longitudinal position or longitudinal direction. It is found that the spectral line is split into two components. There are two components. Right? Spectral line is split into two components. One slightly shorter in wavelength and other slightly longer than the original. This is the original. Some shorter, some longer. तो एक की जो वेवलेंथ है वो कुछ कम है, जो ओरिजिनल लाइन है उसकी वेवलेंथ से, और एक की वेवलेंथ कुछ ज्यादा है ओरिजिनल वेवलेंथ से. The original line is not present. यहाँ पे दिखाया, डॉट डॉट दिखाया. It means this original line is not present. The two components are found to be symmetrically situated about the position of the parent line. Analyzing the two lines within Nicol prism, both the lines are found to be circularly polarized in opposite directions. These lines are circularly polarized in opposite directions. This is called normal longitudinal Zeeman effect. Now second way, now this spectrograph, अब हमने इसके ट्रांसवर्स ले लिया, परपेंडिकुलर. जो मैग्नेटिक लाइंस है हमारी, डायरेक्शन है पोल्स की, या द डायरेक्शन है मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, उसके हमने परपेंडिकुलर पोजीशन में स्पेक्ट्रोग्राफ ले लिया. नाउ वी विल ऑब्जर्व फ्रॉम दिस पोजीशन. द स्पेक्ट्रल लाइन is then viewed transversely, that is perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. What happens now? In this case, the single spectral line is split into three components. There are three components. 1, 2, 3. When the magnetic field is applied, the central line have the same wavelength as the original line. इसकी जो wavelength होगी, that will be same as that of original line. And is plane polarized. This is plane polarized with vibrations parallel to the magnetic field. The outer lines, these two outer lines, are symmetrically situated on either side of the center line. The displacement of either outer line from the center line is known as Zeeman shift. This is the Zeeman shift displacement. The two outer lines are also plane polarized. These lines are also plane polarized, having vibrations in the direction perpendicular to the magnetic field. This is known as normal transverse Zeeman effect. Clear? तो हमने दोनों केस डिस्कस कर लिए, longitudinal position and transverse position. Now let us discuss the expression for the Zeeman shift classically. Expression for the Zeeman shift. Now let us consider an electron in the atom moving in a circular path or in a circular orbit of radius r with some linear velocity v and angular velocity omega. And let small e and small m with a charge on the electron and its mass respectively. Now let us see, this is the circular orbit, this is the direction of the magnetic field, this is the position of electron at any time t. Suppose this is the direction of motion of the electron. Electron is moving clockwise in circular orbit with velocity v. This is the direction of the magnetic field. Now, if you will use Fleming's left-hand rule, you will find the direction of this electron due to this magnetic field will be like this, VEV. This will be the magnitude. क्लियर? ये हम अभी देखेंगे, अभी डिस्कस करते हैं. मैं सेकंड पोजीशन में बना लेता हूं direction of the magnetic field, the electron. Now electron is orbiting anti-clockwise in circular orbit. यहाँ पर clockwise था, यहाँ पर anti-clockwise. तो naturally direction due to magnetic field will be opposite. BB पहले याद इधर थी, अब अंदर आ जाएगी. Now let us discuss the centripetal force acting on the electron towards the center in the absence of the magnetic field. F equal to mv square upon r and equal to mr omega square. This is the centripetal force. Any particle is moving in a circular orbit of radius r with velocity v, then this is the centripetal force. And this centripetal force acts toward the center of the circular orbit. M is the mass of the electron. Here omega v equal to r omega. Omega is the angular velocity. Suppose this is equation number 1. Now let an external magnetic field of induction B be applied in the direction perpendicular to the plane of the orbit of the two circular components and direction towards the reader. Then an additional radial force of magnitude VEV acts on the electron. Actually, this force is F equal to QVV sin theta. Theta is the angle between velocity vector and the magnetic field vector. Here, velocity vector V and B both are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, theta will be 90 degree. And sin theta equal to 1. The magnitude of the force will be BeV. Now, this is the additional radial force of magnitude BeV that acts on the electron. The direction of this force will be outwards 4 clockwise. Direction of force will be outward. We can use Fleming left hand rule to find out the direction of this force. The resulting complex motion of the electron subjected to an additional radial force is called Larmor precession. This produces a change in the angular velocity without any change in the form of the orbit. Now, the resultant force or total force in this case will be now suppose let d omega, this d omega with a change in the angular velocity caused by the magnetic field. For the circular motion in the clockwise direction, in the direction, motion is in circular, in clockwise direction, the total force will be F minus VEV, because centripetal force will be towards the center, mv square upon r or mr omega square. Force due to magnetic field is outward, both forces are opposite in direction. So net force in inward direction will be F minus BEV. This will be equal to mr omega plus d omega square. ठीक है, इसकी वैल्यू हमने डाली mr, because this is the change initial जो हमारा angular velocity थी, that is omega. This is a change in angular velocity due to the magnetic field. तो वो कुछ अमाउंट से बढ़ जाएगी in this case omega plus d omega. तो this is equation number 2. थोड़ा इसको सोल्व करते हैं. mr omega square minus mr omega plus d omega square equal to be omega r. क्लियर? हमने f की वैल्यू पुट की, वी नो f इक्वल टू mr ओमेगा स्क्वायर. यहाँ पर हमने f की वैल्यू डाल दिया mr ओमेगा स्क्वायर माइनस ये टर्म मैंने इधर ले लिया, इसको मैंने उधर पहुंचा दिया और v की जगह मैंने पुट कर दिया r ओमेगा. नाउ सोल्व. minus 2mr omega d omega equal to ve omega. Here we have neglected higher order terms. We have neglected this d omega square because this change in angular velocity is very small. This is very small. We can neglect this d omega square. हमने ये ब्रैकेट ओपन किया, यहाँ से ब्रैकेट को मैंने ओपन किया और इसको सिंप्लीफाई किया. आप इसको चेक कर लेना तो हमारे पास ये आ जाएगा. और d omega equal to minus be upon 2m. This is equation number 3. So this is the expression for change in angular velocity. Now for circular motion in anti-clockwise direction, this was about clockwise direction. Now what about this position when the motion is anti-clockwise? This radial force is directed towards the center. If we use Fleming's left hand rule, we will find that the direction of this magnetic force will be inward towards the center. And we know that towards the center there is the centripetal force. So both force acts in the same direction, that is towards the center. So total force will be F plus BUV mr omega. This is the expression. Now in this case, if we solve, we will find d omega equal to plus b upon 2m. Equation number 4. तो यहाँ पे देखिए इक्वेशन 3, this change in angular velocity with minus sign when electron is moving clockwise in the circular orbit. And in equation 4, this d omega is with plus sign when electron is moving anti-clockwise in the circular orbit. So we can combine these two cases and we find that d omega equal to plus minus v upon 2m. This is equation number 5. Now we know if nu is the frequency of the vibration of the electron, then omega equal to 2 pi nu, or d omega equal to 2 pi d nu, and calculate d nu. D nu will be d omega upon 2 pi. Therefore, change in frequency of the spectral line equal to plus minus p upon 4 pi m. यहाँ पर हमने d ओमेगा की वैल्यू जो रखी थी in equation 5. So from equation 5 we have put the value of d omega here and we will find this is the change in frequency of the spectral line. 4 pi m. प्लस है बढ़ रही है, माइनस है तो कम हो रही है. सपोज दिस इक्वेशन नंबर 6. तो यानी जो स्पेक्ट्रल लाइन दो मिलेंगी हमें, तो एक की जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है वो कम होगी और दूसरे की फ्रीक्वेंसी ज्यादा होगी. मींस वेवलेंथ एक की कम होगी, दूसरे की वेवलेंथ ज्यादा होगी. नाउ इफ न्यू एंड लैम्डा आर frequency and wavelength of the spectral line, then we know nu equal to c upon lambda, or d nu equal to minus c lambda square upon d lambda. Just differentiate this with respect to lambda. Differentiating this equation with respect to lambda, so we will find d nu upon d lambda. D nu upon d lambda equal to minus c upon lambda square. और मैं इस फॉर्म में लिख दिया मैंने. Therefore, the Zeeman shift put this value of d nu. This is d nu की वैल्यू मैंने यहाँ से इक्वेशन 6 है, ये d nu की वैल्यू मैंने यहाँ पे पुट की. तो we will find Zeeman shift. d lambda equal to plus minus b e lambda square upon 4 pi mc. Question number 7. Now taking a spectral line of non-wavelength lambda and applying a magnetic field B, we can measure Zeeman shift d lambda. If we know B and lambda, we can find out value of d lambda, because we know m, mass of the electron, mass of the charge on the electron, and this is the velocity of light in vacuum. That is, in equation 7, from this equation 7, we can write EM from this equation. We just adjust the terms and find out the value of E by M. E by M will be 4 pi C upon B lambda square d lambda. Here we have not taken sign plus minus, because sign plus minus is for longer and shorter wavelength. This is the value of E by M. From this equation, we can calculate E by M, that is a specific charge of electron. और इसकी वैल्यू हमें पता कितनी होती है. This is if we calculate, so this E by M is found to be 1.757 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg, which is in agreement with the value of E by M of the electron obtained from Thomson's experiment. Clear? So this is very important article. इन पर बेस क्वेश्चन इंपोर्टेंट है, तो इसको आप देखिए. एक क्वेश्चन ट्राई करते हैं इस पर. सपोज कैलकुलेट द वेवलेंथ separation between the unmodified means original line of wavelength 6000 angstrom, and the modified lines when a magnetic induction of 1 Weber per meter square is applied in normal Zeeman effect. So here we have to find out wavelength separation, means d lambda. Wavelength separation, we have to calculate d lambda here. Now, some things are given here. What is given? Lambda wavelength equal to 6000 angstrom, 6000 minus 10 to the minus 10 into 10 to the minus 10 meter. Value of B, magnetic field is given 1 Weber per meter square. Now, let us use the formula for wavelength separation. D lambda equal to BE lambda square upon 4 pi MC. Put these values here. P है 1 Weber per meter square. E is electronic charge 1.6 into 10 to minus 19 coulomb. Lambda is given. This is 6 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. 6 into 10 to minus 7 meter square. 4 into pi equal to 3.14, or you can write 22 upon 7 into mass of electron 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, and C, velocity of light 3 into 10 over 8 meter per second. And if you calculate, you will find that this is equal to 0.168 10 to the power minus 10 meter, or 0.168 angstrom. This is the wavelength separation or change in wavelength. हम यहां से दोनों वेवलेंथ निकाल सकते हैं इन नॉर्मल ज़ीमन इफेक्ट. One will be lambda plus d lambda, another will be lambda minus d lambda. ठीक है ना. क्वेश्चन में भी कर सकते थे फाइंड आउट द टू वेवलेंथ्स इन नॉर्मल ज़ीमन इफेक्ट. तो वो हमारी हो जाती है lambda plus d lambda. सो कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं. सेकंड lambda minus d lambda. तो ये हमारे दोनों वेवलेंथ आ जाती है. Similarly, now let us discuss next problem. The red line of cadmium splits into three components separated by 120 megahertz when the source is placed in a magnetic field. In a magnetic field of flux density 8.6 millitesla, light being examined in a direction perpendicular to the magnetic field. Calculate the ratio of charge to mass EYM of the electron Clear? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो अब हम ये सेकंड प्रॉब्लम करते हैं, इसको देखते हैं. यहां तक क्लियर होना सबको? We know Zeeman shift d lambda equal to b lambda square upon 4 pi mc. This is the Zeeman shift. Now we know lambda equal to minus c upon nu square, जो भी पीछे किया था हमने, nu equal to c lambda, और d lambda equal to minus c upon nu square d nu. Therefore minus c nu square d nu equal to be upon 4 pi mc c upon nu square, और c upon nu square d nu equal to be 4 pi m c square upon nu square. Ignoring negative sign. Negative sign is ignored here. Or you can find d nu equal to be upon 4 pi. This is the modified relation. Now we knew it is given that into 3 components separated by 120 megahertz, means this is d lambda, d nu. This is in terms of frequency megahertz, so it is in terms of frequency separation. Wavelength separation के terms में ना होगा, ये frequency separation के terms में दिया है, because the unit is in hertz. The d nu equal to 120 megahertz equal to 120 into 10 to the power 6 hertz, and b equal to 8.6 millitesla equal to 8.6 into 10 to the minus 3 Tesla. Put these value in this expression and you can find out value of E by m, ratio of charge to mass, E by m. So therefore E by m will be equal to first you see d nu equal to be upon 4 pi m, or E by m equal to, just simplify, d nu into 4 pi upon b. Put these values, d nu 120 into 10 to the 6 hertz, 4 into 3.14 upon 8.6 into 10 to the power minus 3 Tesla. It will come 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 kilogram power minus 1. This is your answer.